Okay, folks, it's your buddy Mike Messier. It's late night. It's 1:53 on Monday morning. I believe it's May 18th, 2021. So to historically stamp this date. Now, first off, this once again it will be a pro wrestling video for the non-pro wrestling fans out there. Plenty of stuff to do here, Mike Messier YouTube channel, Messier Mantra, and so forth. But getting to the wrestling fans, first off, I will be discussing WrestleMania Backlash in a few minutes. However, I want to start with a little bit of interactivity. I appreciate I've had about 75 new subscribers. Give a shout out to Landon's ASMR. I believe I have that right, Landon. Your YouTube channel, you've got, what do you have, 45,000 subscribers now? And Landon was nice enough to give me a shout out. A young guy that I met in person at the fire throwing party, the Florida fire throwing party, gave me a shout out, helped me get some subscribers. The wrestling fans have been coming through, and so on and so forth. So thanks to everybody. Now here's where the interactivity comes. I'm going to have some ideas that I'm going to share, and you folks who are watching this video, you'll have your voice will be heard. You might like all the ideas, you might like a few, you might like none of them. So I'm going to have a few ideas. I'm going to do one idea I have is some wrestling book reviews. I have tons of pro wrestling autobiographies that I've read over the years. I'll probably have to put some time into this one because most of the wrestling books are pretty long, but the Arn book, Mick Foley's books, Diamond Dallas Page's books, might be doing like a wrestling book review. Another idea is the classic wrestling magazine review. Taking old wrestling magazines from the 80s, the 90s, and kind of looking at the magazine, showing you the pictures, whatever I know about the articles or the stories, sharing my insights for what it's worth, and kind of doing that. So this is kind of retro stuff. Another thing that I will be doing with a crossover for another wrestling podcast, gentlemen, is kind of the retro wrestling podcasts. Like I've done these before where I talked about the Great American Bashes from the 80s, the late 80s, but maybe more of those. You know, I've attended a lot of interesting live pro wrestling matches. I was there the night that Scott Hall had kind of his nervous breakdown. I was at the King of the Ring as a young child, 1994, folks. Yep, I was there when Owen Hart won. So I can share some of my wrestling stories, a lot of ECW, a lot of stuff from New England, independent shows, early Ring of Honor, like the 2002 Ring of Honor. So more of Mike's wrestling memories, but just really digging into the gray matter of my wrestling brain to share with you these anecdotes. So we've got the three choices so far: the book reviews, the magazine reviews, and my own personal big show memories, or even smaller show memories, just memories of me as a wrestling fan. I can tell you what I know about, working in the wrestling business to the toe in the ocean is how I like to put it. I don't claim that I ever had a big time wrestling career, but I did have some experiences. My sit down with Sandman, doing commentary for some independent shows, a lot actually, ring announcing. I can share with you what I know. If you have any questions about wrestling protocol, a guy, really interesting guy, Mike Quackenbush, does videos on that same type of thing. Although Mike, as a promoter and a wrestler, much more advanced in that I am, but he does some cool videos on the Till We Make It YouTube channel, which I don't know if I endorse it, but I like it. And Mike seems to be an interesting guy, and got me into a show that he did once in Connecticut of the Colony, and Cesaro was there. Speaking of which, Cesaro, as we'll talk about in a moment, a WrestleMania thing. So basically, folks, I've got the ideas, and I haven't committed to any of those, three ideas yet: the wrestling books, or the wrestling magazines, or the Mike's memories. And I guess I'm just looking for your feedback. Does any of those three pop for you? Do any of those three pop, or maybe not? One thing, another thing, I guess a fourth idea would be things basically like non-WWE wrestling thoughts. And when I say that, it's not to dismiss WWE or its fans or my long history with WWE as a fan and having a job interview in there, but I'm so frustrated with WWE on so many levels, And they typically do this. They have a really good pay-per-view, and then they go right back to crappy weekly Raws. And the SmackDowns, I guess, are better, but I haven't been watching a whole lot, to be honest. So what I'm thinking of doing is the stuff that I'm familiar with, because I've been going to AEW in person for a couple of months now, and I'm here in Jacksonville. Maybe really pushing this AEW thing. Thanks to Mark with the C, last name T, I did the NWA Power review. If you haven't watched that yet, if you're seeing this video but didn't see my Nick Aldis NWA. So trying for me to kind of get back into the playground I was always the most happy in as a fan. Once again, I've got a long history of WWE as a fan and having a job interview there and speaking my mind about their fucking shows. But for whatever reason, I just get angry whenever I think about them. And that's where the angry wrestling fan comes from. When WWE had a real stranglehold on the whole goddamn business, which wasn't too long ago, like 2017. So for me to explore things like NWA and AEW, I do shy away from Impact Wrestling for various reasons, but if there was a demand that I go there, I could. Major League Wrestling I've never had a problem with, and they're somewhere here in Florida, and they're going to do big things. They're going on network, I believe, right? They're going on Vice TV or something. So what do you think of that as a fourth option? Like for me to cover the current stuff, but AEW, NWA, MLW, like that. And if there's other territories, especially in Florida or Georgia that you know of, or North Carolina that I could attend, driving distance, let me know, and maybe I'll meet some people. I'm thinking about going up to Austin Idol's wrestling camp in South Carolina just to say hello, maybe do a field trip. So those are some thoughts. Now we'll get into, so basically what I'm asking for is I just gave you the thoughts that I'm going to do. I'm going to do some of that stuff, and not to have a fucking voting committee, but just give me some feedback. I mean, some of you folks may not give a fuck about these old magazines or books. Some of you may. I'm giving you the choice to be heard. Speak your minds. I do appreciate that I've hit 705 subscribers. So of that, I know a lot of people don't see these videos because they're not pushing the alarm button. And so I put some work into the YouTube cover art stuff, and it just says push the alarm button. You got to push that alarm button so you know when I get stuff up here. And if you're still not getting this stuff, if you're somehow seeing this, just come back every couple of days or every day, whatever you want to do. I'm here for you. I'll be here, cyberly. What else? Okay, WrestleMania Backlash, May 17th, 2021. First off, I am not offended, believe it or not, by the title WrestleMania Backlash. I know that there was an initial groan and ugh from a great deal of fans, maybe myself. I don't know if I ugged and groaned, but it just seemed cheesy and lame. But then if you think about it, it's like, man, why didn't they do this earlier? Why not cash in on that WrestleMania cachet once again and, squeeze another fucking show out of it? Not that this was WrestleMania, not that you can say that this is WrestleMania, but to say it's Backlash, as a offshoot, as a afterbirth of WrestleMania, I'm not terribly offended by it. Now the action. Okay, this is where I got into a little hoodwinky. I was under the I went to see Top Gun yesterday, the movie, in the fucking theater. The Need for Speed. And I thought, crazy me, I checked the internet beforehand, and it said that this WWE Backlash was starting at 8 and the pre-show was at 7. So by the time I got to where I watched WrestleMania, and here's just tricks of the trades. I don't go home. I don't sit in front of the TV. I take my fucking laptop. I have Peacock on my laptop. I go to a coffee house. I'm social. I have my earphones in, but there's people around me. I'm saying hello. I'm out and about. And I'm watching goddamn WrestleMania in public, if you will. Like, literally. I've got my computer, my headset. I can share the screen once in a while. So I can't go home and just sit there and watch fucking wrestling. I have to be doing something else. So while I've got the WrestleMania on one laptop, I'm doing other things, namely the YouTube stuff on the second computer, because that's how I have to live. When I go to the goddamn movies, I take a 10-pound weight with me and I move my arms around because I need constant activity. I can't sit still. So I'm watching this goddamn wrestling show, and the first thing I fucking see, I don't know what you saw, but the first thing I see is John Morrison looking around, like the backstage segment of John Morrison looking around, and he opens a door, and these fucking demons, or the Thriller, like I thought it just reminded me of the zombies from Thriller, the Michael Jackson video from 50 years ago, and I'm like, what the fuck's going on? What's happening? And as I'm trying to put my earphones in, there's a guy talking to me, so I just have to go with it, and I'm like, okay, for some reason, there's zombies at this fucking match, and I guess this was the people are like, oh my God, Jim Cornette's gonna have a hernia. Well, we've passed that point, that Jim's gonna have a hernia with everything. So I watch this fucking match, and I see these zombies, and I'm still not able to listen because the guy's talking to me in the coffee house, and I'm just thinking, I don't know, but here's what I do know. As you can see, I'm not screaming, I'm not yelling, I'm not saying, wow, Flair Steamboat, I'm not saying anything, because I'm emotionally detached. See, WWE has lost me already, so I'm just saying that now, because 5 months ago, a year ago, I'd be screaming, I'd be hollering. Now I don't give a fuck. WWE has lost my loving feeling, Top Gun reference, and I can no longer give them my heart. I can no longer, they no longer deserve my anger at shit like this, and so they get their little press, because it's like, oh, it's a cross-reference with fucking Netflix and Army of the Damned. And I don't know if Dave fucking Bautista's in that movie or not, but I guess the whole point is WWE got themselves a little paycheck or a little dick-in-the-ass favor from Netflix, so now they have the fucking zombies. And am I supposed to be excited? Am I supposed to be... If you're trying to poke me or prod me to be angry, WWE, you don't deserve my anger anymore. You've lost my anger. I no longer respect you enough to be angry at you, okay? So I watched the fucking match, and Miz and Morrison, their whole thing now is, we have to get the other guys over. We have to get this fucking Damian Priest guy over. I know he's a big favorite, Damian Priest, of the internet, Netflix, or wherever the fuck, the NXT fans. I don't know what I'm missing, because I didn't really watch the best of Damian Priest in his NXT days, so I don't know what the great appeal is. You tell me if you want. I don't quite get it. I don't quite see it, especially in modern day WWE. He looks like he would have been in the Vampiro Raven group in fucking WCW 20 fucking years ago. Like, that's when he would have been really good. Like, oh, we got Vampiro, we got Raven, and we got this new guy, Damian Priest, and we got the Insane Clown Posse. What a thing. Like 1999 WCW, you know what I mean? So I don't know. Damian Priest wins, blah, blah, blah. So obviously, as you might have noted, I missed the first two matches. This is the order that I watched the goddamn show. Then the next thing I see is Bayley versus fucking Bianca. Pretty good goddamn match. In fact, it was a really good match. And Bayley... I don't know, folks. I guess I just have a thing for Bayley, to be honest with you. I think she's attractive. I like her wrestling. I like that she really did well becoming a heel. I like that her hair is growing out now a little bit. I think Bayley's cool, and she kind of won me over as a babyface. I have a video up here from 3 years ago. Bayley deserves a hug. I have a lot of respect for Bayley as a wrestler. I really do. And, here she is in WWE, but I still respect her, and I think she's doing good. And, people on Twitter, Smart Mark Fuck Nation, oh my God, Bayley made her look so good. Well, here's the thing, folks, and it's easy to fall into that trap of, oh, Sasha made Bayley look good at WrestleMania. Now, Sasha made... Bianca look good at WrestleMania. Now Bayley makes Bianca look good at Backlash. No, well, you know what? Bianca's there too. She's doing her fucking job. So if she's looking good, if she's having good matches, it's like, here it is, the Ultimate Warrior, WrestleMania 5, 6, and fucking 7. Who had the best matches, in my opinion, at WrestleMania's 5 against Rick Rude, 6 against Hogan, 7 against Savage? Ultimate fucking Warrior, folks. That was the guy that had the best matches at those 3 Manias. Yes, you could make an argument that Savage and Hogan had the best match at 5, but I would probably say Rude and Warrior was a better match. And get this, Bianca Belair, and you might say, hey, did you just compare Ultimate Warrior to Bianca Belair? In a sense, I did. I'm saying that if she's having these consistent high quality matches, her being Bianca, at back-to-back pay-per-views, part of that's on her. Give her credit. So I give her credit. It was a good match. I think I predicted Bayley to win the title just as a little upset thing, just to stir the pot. Didn't fucking happen. We did have a title change tonight. I'll get to that in a moment. What else? What next? Then I think it went to, if I'm not mistaken, if I'm not forgetting something, it went to a three-man match for the Bruno belt, as I call it. Bobby Lashley. Yeah, I get these fucking titles confused, to be honest with you. Is this the Universal title or the Bruno belt? I'm so goddamn confused now because they look alike and everything. I think it's for the fucking, God, I don't know. I think whatever I say is going to be wrong. But I think it's for the Bruno belt, the lineage title, the WWE World Heavyweight title, Bobby Lashley defending against Braun and Drew. And Braun looks pretty fucking impressive, and he takes a pin. So, I mean, I don't know what the fuck to tell you. It was another one of those romp 'em, stomp 'em matches. I guess this is the fucking month for triangle matches over in AEW. To be honest, here's where someone can make a real, point about who's got the heavyweights, who's got the wrestlers that look like real wrestlers, and who's got the cruiserweight division as heavyweight champions. And hey, I'm an AEW fan, but I'll just say it. You got Jericho, Orange Cassidy, and Pac. Of the three, Pac's the most athletic. And on fucking this show, you've got 280 pounds of Drew McIntyre, or 300, whatever the fuck. Big Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley, men who look like men. I hate to say it. I'm more of an AEW fan now, but in this heavyweight class, you have to call it like you see it. These three guys look like they mean business. They look like legit heavyweight guys that could fight with Hogan or fight with Bruno or Austin, like guys who look like a real man, okay? No offense to the Pacs and the Cassidys, but I mean, Jericho's like fucking 57 years old. So then you fucking go. It's a nice match. Bobby Lashley, it's the age-old, hey, Drew and Braun are going at it for a while. Where's Bobby? Oh, there he is to steal the victory. So it's okay. It was a good match. Then you had fucking whatever the fuck you had. Then they've got to do the typical thing where they split the two world titles and some other shit happened. But there was stuff. I'm forgetting fucking something. What am I forgetting? I guess I don't know because I'm forgetting it. But you got to the eventual Cesaro and Roman Reigns match, and I was a bit distracted. People were yammering about me and talking. But, I mean, it was a really good match. I think we can put this all in perspective now. Vince McMahon, for whatever the fucking reason, never liked Cesaro, never saw the potential in Cesaro beyond being a good hand. And so he just basically fucked him into this match. People, Kevin Castle supposedly, or tweeting that he reminded him of Bob Holly at fucking Royal Rumble, whatever the fuck, 2002. Getting a shot against Brock Lesnar. I didn't see it was that bad. I just thought it was what it was. It wasn't great. It wasn't, it was a really great match, but the ending was kind of the shits, as they say in the wrestling circles, because Cesaro loses clean, right? It was a clean loss. And then fucking the Usos come out, and I guess it's Jey Uso, or is it Jimmy Uso? I get them mixed up. They look so much alike. And they beat the fuck out of Cesaro. And then Seth Rollins comes out in a clown suit, and he beats the fuck out of Cesaro. So it's like, man, let's just bury Cesaro, and then dig him up and bury him again, and dig him up and bury him again, and then shit on his fucking face. So, I mean, that's how Vince McMahon sees the talent, folks. Now, tomorrow, my buddy Jimmy Faluca is going to tweet and twat about how disgusting this was, how they treated his buddy Cesaro like a piece of fucking, I don't know what, I want to say fried cunt meat, so there I just said it. I mean, I've never heard that term before. But he basically fucking treated him like dog shit on a hot plate. And just what can you say? It was horrible. It was god-awful. It was disgusting. The amount of abuse that this poor fellow receives, meaning Cesaro, and we all sit through it like a bunch of fucks. So then what's next? then I said, holy shit, how come I didn't see all the matches? You know, like, I'm basically thinking at this point, and I do think I forgot a match in there. I can't remember what it was because I forgot it. But it's like, hey, self, this was a fast pay-per-view. This is like a 5-match pay-per-view. Then I flip over it on YouTube to Joe Cronin show, and they're talking about Charlotte and Asuka. I'm like, wait a minute, I missed some fucking matches. So then the fucking Peacock thing, you can't just rewind like a man. You gotta wait for them to upload the fucking replay, okay? So then I guess I figured it out. It said 8 p.m. start time. I guess it was really 7 p.m. East Coast EST. Not the fucking Bianca Belair EST, but Eastern Standard Time. Be funny if that was the whole gimmick for Bianca Belair, right? Like, we all thought it was the bestest, the greatest, the tallest, but it's actually the Eastern Standard Time. Like, she just likes, like, kind of like Rey Mysterio, 619, Bianca Belair, EST. She likes the East Coast time. She's used to it. But any fucking way, getting back to the point, it was the matches that I missed that I had to wait a fucking round for was basically, I missed the Sheamus kicking, what's his name, Ricochet's head off, or however that happened. I saw this fucking women's match, Charlotte Flair, and the other one, Asuka, and the other one, God, Rhea Ripley. What do I think? It was good, but there's a certain pattern of these WWE matches that are, especially when they do triangle matches, they just have they feel a lot alike. And like, it's not like it's a bad match, but it just, they all feel very similar. That's why that Daniel Bryan Edge Roman match stood out a bit, because it was a little more old school, like late 90s, going through tables and stuff. This, it just feels very a way for like everyone to kind of get over, and no one looked too bad, and everyone gets their moves in, and everyone gets a 2.5 count, and then a 2 3/6, and a 2 9/10, and everybody's just great, and this is awesome. Clap, 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 clap. Just the match just felt like every other fucking triangle match, you know, men or women. It was good. It was fun. It just felt very similar. Now, here's the thing. I want to go there, folks. And ladies, there's been a few women watching these videos, so feel free to chime the fuck in. What's going on with these, what's going on with these, what's going on? I'm just drawing a blank. I'm excruciatingly tired. I don't know what to say. What's going on with the plastic surgery to Charlotte's fucking face? You know what I mean? I mean, can we talk here, Joan Rivers? It's just, and I know other people have speculated, but it's like, and I know that, you know, we're not supposed to say anything. We're supposed to just act like it's all fine. Like, oh, she's, you know, she's doing her. She's being her. But if we really get real about it, I think what happened is she got a fucking nose job. And perhaps like the schnoz, the nose affects like a great deal of the face. And, you know, if you were to take and to be honest, I'm wondering why people aren't saying this. Is this actually the same person, meaning Charlotte Flair? But I think because of the athleticism and so forth, we can pretty much say that it is. But it does make you kind of creeped out. And it's like, she doesn't owe us anything. She doesn't have to come out and say, oh, I got my nose job and I blah, 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 blah. But it just, I think it's okay to be like feeling weird about this, because it's not like she was unattractive or whatever the fuck. At least I didn't think so. And some people have been kind of mean to Charlotte over the years with her look or her face. I think she had a nice face. But it's kind of like the Jennifer Grey thing, you know, late 80s, the star of Dirty Dancing. Like, hey, that's your fucking face. And I get it, you know, if someone has issues with their look, their body or their extremities, that, oh, my nose is kind of big, and I always hated my nose, and blah, 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 blah. Well, okay, it's your fucking nose. Chop it up if you want. But I just, part of me, I don't know. I just don't like it, to be honest with you. I don't like when people unless you've been like a burn victim or you've had some type of major fucking problem or, you know, there's breathing issues. I just feel like, hey, your fucking face is your face. You know what I mean? And I think, to me, I could be stepping out of bounds here, folks. Ooh, but is it is it sending a bad message to the youth? Like, for all these young women fans that they claim to adore or want the best for, like, I want to be a good role model. Like, you know, this whole fucking thing. Well, should every young lady who's not satisfied with her face just pine for the day where she has enough money to chop her nose off and get a new one? I don't agree with that, you know? And I mean, why do I always go to Kim Kardashian's ass? But I mean, when you're talking about these ass implants and just people doing things, and it just, I mean, if you really think about it, how much different is this than the cultures that put the rings around the women's necks so their fucking necks get longer, or whatever the fuck, or the discs in the earlobes? I mean, just, and look, I've got tattoos, you know, I get it, you know, freedom of choice, blah, blah, blah. But to me, it's just unnecessary, and I can't help but be, I just feel, and look, Charlotte Flair never came out 5 years ago and said, oh my God, I'll never get plastic surgery. So we can't call her a hypocrite. It's her personal life. But I feel like with this whole don't be a bully, be a star, to me, it's just not congruent with getting your fucking plastic surgery on if you don't really need it. And I don't think she really needed it. That being said, she kind of looks better. You know what I mean? Like, she kind of does. But it's like if you had the 2021 Charlotte Flair versus the 2019 or 2017 Charlotte Flair, you'd be like, I kind of like this 2021 one. At the same time, I don't know. I don't know what to say. So then we go to the next goddamn match, and it's the fucking, what's the fucks? The Mysterios, father and son, against the Dirty Dogs. And it's like, this is my takeaway from this match. This match, or this name of a tag team, the Dirty Dogs of Bobby Roode and what's his dick, that's why Dolph Ziggler. You know by the name of the tag team how far they're going to go, and the answer is not very far. Like, that name of a tag team, the Dirty Dogs, that's a 6-month tag team name. That's not Road Warriors or Demolition. Like, you've used up all the good names for real tag teams, and the I was gonna say dog shit name, but the remainder, you know, like the fucking, when you open up the candy box and life is a box of chocolates and you eat all the good chocolates, and then there's like the one that's like the kind of weird maple fucking chocolate, that's the Dirty Dogs name. It's not a cool name. It's not an authoritative name. It does not put fear in anybody's hearts. It's stupid. It's the Dirty Dogs. Are you kidding me? And look, folks, here's the thought that I had. Look, yay. The Mysterios win the belts. Fine. I actually predicted that in Shane McKenna's Wrestling Fans group. If you're a wrestling fan and you're seeing this video somewhere else, in the Wrestling Fans Facebook group run by Shane McKenna, about 31,000 people in it now, you can do these polls, these prediction polls. And I know the Hameen Media Group, discussion group, does a similar thing, which I forgot to do theirs tonight. Sorry, fellows in Hameen, or Hamin. But whatever the fuck. I predicted the Mysterios to win the belts. I just saw it as a good time Charlie moment. Similarly to when Hulk Hogan won the WWE title from Triple H at fucking whatever the fuck, you know, Backlash 2002. It seems like Backlash, they always need to have like a feel-good match, a feel-good title change, and this was it. The Mysterios, and I don't know, it's fine, but just when you saw Dolph Ziggler like sitting on his ass outside the ring after the match, and he didn't take the pin, but I had the basic thought of the difference between wrestling fans like you and me and the actual wrestlers like Dolph is, we think they're being misused. We think they should give a fuck. We think that Dolph Ziggler should say, God damn it, I refuse to be a jobber. I refuse to put these assholes over. I've got more talent. I'll show you. But in reality, Dolph is happy to fuck Amy Schumer. He's happy to fuck Fat Sonny, and he's happy to get his money, and he's happy to do his comedy, and he's happy. He doesn't, at some point he gave up the ghost of being the next Shawn Michaels. Like he doesn't care about his own life and his own career as much as we do. We care too much. You see what I'm saying? We're living vicariously through these people, and they're on autopilot. Dolph does not give a fuck about what we think of his life or his career. He's got his paycheck, he's got his money, and he'll lie on his back for anybody, okay? So that's the difference between us and these wrestlers. We give a shit, they don't. Bottom line. Bobby Roode takes a pin from fucking Dominic, and as I'm watching that happen, I'm thinking, wow, Bobby Roode must feel like a real piece of shit right now. Like he must actually feel like shit. But then I kind of wake up from that fantasy and I say, Bobby Roode doesn't give a fuck. He's stone cold in himself. He's a man who's 44 years old, whatever the fuck, and it's just getting the paycheck. It's just going through the motions. We always think these wrestlers care or they have pride, and they don't. We have to stop thinking this way, that the wrestlers give a fuck. They don't care. They really don't. See, this is what happens when I review WWE shows. And the prescription from Dr. Mike, once again, is one pay-per-view a month of WWE. That's all we're allotted. Like, that's our time to go into WWE world and give a fuck if you're going to be intelligent. If you need your wrestling fix, watch old school stuff. Watch the fucking NWA. Watch AEW. If you're watching WWE on a weekly basis, I pity the fool because you're suffering. You're going through pain and suffering. Okay. So at this point, and then I saw the whole Batista thing, that people were finger banging themselves on Twitter. And, oh my God, Dave Batista is the new Morgan Freeman. I mean, not really. I mean, it's basically, I don't know if Batista's involved in this Army of the Dead movie or not, but it's like, he's boys with Triple H. And, Triple H, I won't do the voiceover, but I'll get my buddy Dave Batista to do it. The WWE, quote, universe, quote, is so ready to accept and forgive all that WWE does. You know what I mean? I like my wrestling fans with a little cynicism. I like my fans with a little hate. I was having a really nice conversation with Michael Monty today of the Monty and the Pharaoh podcast out of Long Island. Long Island's #1 wrestling podcast, he likes to call it. And Monty and I were kind of having a heated debate. And, Monty said something to the point of, hey, everybody can watch what they want to watch. If you want to watch WWE, if you want to watch AEW. And I said, well, my thing was, hey, I kind of like the fighting. I really do. Like the fighting amongst wrestling fans who Twitter fuck with each other and Facebook fuck. I like it. And I said the reason why I like the fighting is because pro wrestling, in my opinion, is based on conflict. And so if this is the fucking sport where a fan, as Nikita Brezhnov or whatever his name is, Nikita, took a fucking knife and put it in pig oil or pig vomit or pig blood and went to the fucking matches and stabbed Blackjack Mulligan. Now, granted, that's a bit extreme. That's fucking insane. But that was a time when people gave a fuck. And so, going to the wrestling matches, maybe for some you were there, the 90s, all these fucking signs, or even now when you hear like, let's go Cena sucks. I mean, that's 10 years ago, 15 years ago, or, let's go Styles, let's go Roman, whatever the fuck. The feuding fans hollering and cheering, that's the way it should be. And if that crosses over into the world of social media, and granted, a lot of times people go too far with their insults and their hate, but to me, I like it. I like the fact that people give a shit enough to fucking argue and fight about things, at least, verbally or writtenly. So I don't mind. To me, that's the sign that people still care. If everybody agreed on every fucking thing, we wouldn't have much of a life now, would we? Professional wrestling, I always come up with the smartest things at the end of these goddamn rants. Professional wrestling is based on conflict. That's what it should be based on. So to have conflict, that should cross over. There should be competing companies. What I don't like about AEW right now, as a side note, is I don't like this whole cooperation with Impact Wrestling and so on and so forth, and this fucking wall or this door. To me, I like competitive things because that, you know, it makes both companies better, or all the companies. That's my feelings. You could argue with that. You could say, well, we need these dream matches, but is Nagata versus Moxley, where Moxley is afraid to hurt the guy, is that a dream match? Maybe that's a bad example, but okay, let's have Kenny Omega versus Nick Aldis. You know, let's have that. Who would be the heel? Who would be, I guess Aldis would probably be the babyface. So that's it, folks. That's your goddamn Wrestle Review. I want to thank all the subscribers. Damon Capetta comes to mind. He's always very supportive on Twitter, a real-life pal. Chris out there, CG, has been very responsive. Carl, we've got Truth number 3. Was not Trilly Tuesday, although Trilly's a good guy as well. 2 different guys, my error. Adam has been writing some nice comments. Some really good comments, actually. I'm sure I'm forgetting some people, and I feel bad, you know, when I forget folks, but hey. Once again, the 700th subscriber, just like yesterday, and now we're at 705. And I say I can include everyone in that. What you can do to help your pal, namely me, is to share some of these fucking videos in these YouTube groups you're in, or these Facebook groups, or the Twitter feeds, or whatever the fuck. You know what to do. You know how this shit works. And you can just put a thing like, hey, this asshole does these fucking wrestling videos, and here they are. Or whatever the fuck you want to say. But just share the link. That's all I ask. Give me a share, and that'll be nice. So, it's your buddy Mike Messier. I've got to clean my glasses now. Other things I can talk about for just a moment. I've been enjoying it's a goddamn fresh nap. It's not an eyeglass cleaner. I'm a little pissed. I've been enjoying the Conrad work with Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett is a good talker. So if you are a Conrad person and you want to give that podcast a shot. Also, in the Conrad world, they've been doing these... why the fuck am I promoting him? He doesn't promote me. I should just tell you that I fucking interviewed CONRAD THOMPSON, if you're really this far in the video, and you can watch that episode. Mike Messier interviews CONRAD THOMPSON, but he never retweeted it, which is kind of rude. I don't understand why. It was a good interview. And you can judge for yourself who's the better interviewer, who's the better wrestling expert, me or Conrad. You can watch and decide, because we're right there together. But he's a good guy. He's got some good stuff on his thing. I guess I would be nice and say that those old Jim Ross interview shows are up there. That's what I was getting at. I was being coy. But that's all the free plugs for him. I do have another fucking thought, and this one, it's a blatant rip-off from other wrestling people, but I'll just tell you what I'm thinking of doing. God, I don't know. I'm giving all my good ideas here. Maybe I'll just keep it to myself. All right, folks. Mike Messier, thanks for watching. I'm shaking my hands. Goodbye.